Hey Dabbers, and welcome back to another Dab 2000 video and another ranking video. And this is going to be kind of like something I did last year where I did my favorite movie for every year I've been alive. It's a similar video to that. Today I'm going to be doing my favorite movies for each letter of the alphabet. I saw this on some people on YouTube doing this, so I was thinking I should do this as well, just to talk about some of my favorite movies, because some of my favorite movies, I talked about a lot of them when I made that video, but I didn't get to talk about any of the 19 movies, like 1980s, 1990s movies, and some of my favorite movies are in those decades and stuff. So I wanted to talk about more movies before my time. So like this is the perfect opportunity to do that. So I have a system. There's going to be, for each letter, I'm going to give 2 honorable mention movies and then my pick for my favorite movie that starts with that letter, just so I can talk about more movies and share to you guys some of my favorite movies out there. So with all that said, let's get started. We're going to start off with the letter A. My first honorable mention is Avengers Infinity War. Obviously, this is like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a perfect movie in my mind. And I just feel like it's the setup to, if you've been on my channel for long enough, you probably know what my pick is for the letter A. But this is the perfect setup movie to that movie. And then my second honorable mention is Aliens. This is one of my favorite sci-fi movies, one of my favorite James Cameron. I think it is my favorite James Cameron movie. It just so, like, it takes the concept of the first movie and just makes it like 10 times better by making it like an action movie and killing aliens. Ripley's one of the best characters in the franchise. It's just such a good written movie and everything like that. But my pick for A, to surprise no one, it's Avengers Endgame. I've been saying this since I've started this channel, since I've seen this movie in theaters. This is my favorite movie of all time, because I mean, if you were there in the crowd experience, it's insane when all the portals open up and like all the characters start coming back and stuff. It's just kind of like that special movie to me. So it's a good one to start off with, the letter A, starting off with my favorite movie of all time. It's a good start to the video. For B, I have my first honorable mention is Batman Begins. This is the start to the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. I think this is a really good origin movie for Batman. My second honorable mention is The Batman. 2 Batmans as my honorable mentions. I could have gone with Black Panther too. Black Panther is also a really good one, but I like Batman Begins, but I think The Batman is a better movie. I think the Riddler's good. I like Robert Pattinson as the Batman. But my pick for my favorite movie that starts with the letter B is Back to the Future. I think this is just one of the greatest time movies of all time, like time travel movies of all time. I think Endgame is the best because it's my favorite movie of all time, but this is one of them. This is just a classic, timeless adventure, and it has just some of the best characters like Doc Brown, Marty McFly, and all that stuff, and it has some of the best score ever. It's just a really good movie. That's why it's at B. For C, my first honorable mention is Creed 2. I think this was a hot take. I made a ranking a while ago when Creed 3 came out in theaters with Rocky and Creed movies, because I rewatched them all. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think it is. I like the Creed trilogy more than all the Rocky movies. I think that's a wild take by me, but yeah, and I think Creed 2 is the best of the bunch. I just like the Russian guy from Rocky 4 coming back, and it's his son that fights in the ring. I think that's just interesting, and the score is just really good in that movie. My second honorable mention is Casino Royale. This is the first Daniel Craig James Bond movie, And I think, yeah, this one's the best of his run of movies, in my opinion. I think the casino setting is really interesting. You're definitely involved with like every move James Bond makes in that movie, so I really like that. But my pick for my favorite movie for C is Captain America Civil War. Another Marvel movie, but as you know, I'm a Marvel guy, so I love just Marvel movies in general. And I think this is top 6 MCU movies. I mean, I literally rewatched this movie for Thunderbolts because of Falcon and Bucky and stuff like that. And I rewatched Winter Soldier 2. That's why it's not like in this top. It's I still give it like a 9 out of 10, but like it is does have some slower parts. This movie is longer than Captain America and Winter Soldier, but I think this just flies by and has a better pace than Captain America and Winter Soldier. I think all the characters, like you don't even need like all the cameo people like Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Vision, like Spider-Man and Hawkeye and Ant-Man and stuff, they're not even in the movie for like an hour and 30 minutes, but you don't care because you care about all the other characters that are already in it, like Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, Bucky. It's just such a good movie. For D, my first honorable mention is going to be Dune Part 2. That was my favorite movie from last year for my end year ranking. And I think it's still really good. I love just the atmosphere. I think it's better than the original, which is really cool. And I really like the action in this movie. It just feels bigger in scope and scale. My second honorable mention is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think Dawn is just really good. This is another just like really good movie. I think this is my favorite of the Planet of the Apes franchise, even though there's like 2 that are really good. Dawn and War are just amazing. And then you get one of the best villains in this one of Koba. It's just a really good movie. But my pick for D, I keep saying number because I feel like I'm ranking, but I'm not, is The Dark Knight. I mean, this is top 3 movies for me. Heath Ledger's Joker just gives an amazing performance in this movie. Christian Bale is also just really good in this movie. And it's just every little detail in this movie matters for the end of this movie. It's just my favorite Christopher Nolan movie. And this won't be the last time we see Christopher Nolan movie on this list. For E, I didn't have that much for E movies. I only give one E movie like a 10 out of 10. But none 9. So the 2 honorable mentions are like 8s right now. My first honorable mention is Elvis. I don't know what it is about Elvis that I like, but it's just really good. I don't know why. This is like my start into like musical biopics. I don't think any of them top what Elvis did. I think Austin Butler just gives an amazing performance in this movie as Elvis, and it's just really like I just never got bored with the movie. I was just always so invested in this movie. We also have Edge of Tomorrow. I just saw this movie like 7 months ago or something like that, and it was pretty good. I like the concept where he dies and then restarts at this like checkpoint right here, and it's just a very interesting movie, and I just liked it with Tom Cruise and stuff. But my pick is Empire Strikes Back. This is obvious. I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm literally wearing a Star Wars shirt, and although it's not my favorite Star Wars movie, I think I like A New Hope and Return of the Jedi better than Empire Strikes Back, even though Empire Strikes Back is just so good with Luke's origin and training and Yoda. You get the iconic I am your father moment. I mean, it's just, you can't pick this movie for E. I mean, it's just a really good Star Wars movie. For F, this one's a weird one because they're all racing, or all of the F movies I picked are something to relate with cars. So, like, they all have something with cars in them. My first one is F1, the movie that just came out this year. I haven't talked about this movie that much, but it is really good. Brad Pitt does, like, an amazing performance in this movie. You care about everything. It's the people that did Top Gun Maverick, which is a really good movie. I think I like F1 more than Top Gun Maverick. because I just think F1 is just really, really good. My second honorable mention is Fast 5. This is my favorite of the Fast and the Furious franchise. I really enjoy the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think the only one that gave Fast X that came out in like 2023 like a 9 out of 10. I thought that movie was just crazy good, and I just love that movie for some weird reason. And everyone was like dying out. I like binged them all for Fast X, and I think this one's still the best with like the money heist and stuff like that. I just think this one is ultimately my favorite. But my pick for my favorite F movie is Ford v Ferrari. I think this is one of the pinnacle racing movies. Christian Bale and I think it's Matt Damon, I believe. Yeah, it's Matt Damon. Okay, good. I didn't want to mess that up, but this one's just really good. I care about every single character in this movie. You care about the races, and then when he decides to let someone win, it ultimately costs them. It's also like a sad movie because at the end, Christian Bale's character dies, and just not even in a race, it was just an accident to practice for this race, which is just heartbreaking because it's based on a real story, I think. And I don't know, something about this movie was just really good. For G, I have my first honorable mention is Gremlins. I think this might be my favorite horror movie. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know. Something about this movie just resonates with me. I just find this film so fun with all the weird little creatures and stuff like that. I don't know. Something about this movie just always sit right with me. Sure, the second one isn't that great. It's just kind of silly, but this first one is just, it disturbs you in some ways, which I just appreciate from this movie. And I like how they're practical, and we need another Gremlins movie. Just a new one. It would be so cool. A little water break. My second honorable mention is Gladiator. I watched this movie for the couple months back, and it was pretty good. The characters are really good. Russell Crowe gives an amazing performance as the main lead in this movie, and it's really well acted. There's a lot of cool action sequences, and I feel like everyone just does an amazing job in this movie. But my pick for my favorite movie of G is Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, no one really knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were until this movie, and James Gunn just did an amazing job. I think this is my favorite James Gunn project he's done. Of course, he's at the DCU making Superman and stuff like that, but I think this is his best work. His like first mainstream MCU movie is his best, and I think all the characters are really good in this movie. Alright, we're going on to H. My first honorable mention for H is How to Train Your Dragon. I just rewatched the original for the new one that just came out this year for the live action one. And it's just a really good story with the characters. The score in this movie with the test drive is really good. There's a lot of great stuff with this movie. My second honorable mention is Hobbit. I know a lot of people don't really enjoy the Hobbit movies. I said the Hobbit movies were in my top like 10 movies when I was like 10 or whatever. Now, it's changed now because for some reason I watched all the Hobbit movies before Lord of the Rings, which was a mistake. So learn from me. Do not watch the Hobbit movies before Lord of the Rings. But I think because I watched the Hobbit movies first, I liked them more. And then when I watched Lord of the Rings, they were like peak cinema, and Hobbit kind of went down. But I still very much enjoy this movie. I think the first one is better than the second Hobbit movie for some reason. I just like all the dwarves and characters and stuff. I just think that's cool, and I like them. But my pick for H is Home Alone. I mean, this is just classic movie. Just Kevin McAllister, the booby traps at the end. Every line is so quotable in this movie. I don't know. It's just such a good movie. We're moving on to I. Now, I had a very tough choice trying to pick which one's number one. I have 3 honorable mentions. Well, no. I have 2 honorable mentions in my pick, but I'm going to combine them into one because I think all 3 of these movies are 10 out of 10 perfect movies, and I can't really pick between them. I'm just going to tell you my favorites for I. I have Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is not my favorite Indiana Jones movie, but it's definitely my second. And it's really good with Indiana Jones's dad in the mix of things. And it just adds a different flavor to the franchise that I feel like was missing. And it's just such a really good adventure. I feel like the tank fight where he's like on the tank with a rope is just a really good action sequence. And it has really good action. And it's just such a good rewatchable movie for me. I also have Inception. Inception is just one of Christopher Nolan's greats with this idea of dreams and like going into dreams and stuff like that. It's just such a good movie. And then I also have Iron Man, which is the movie that kicked off the MCU. And I feel like they're all on the same tier for me. Like, I love them all equally, so that's why I really can't pick, like, one over the other. So I'm just giving you my 3, which are my top 3 of that I section. So comment down below for my eyes. Which one of my 3 do you think is your favorite? Alright, we're going to move on to J. My first honorable mention is Jumanji. I know a lot of the Jumanji movies get a lot of hate. I find these movies very rewatchable, and I have a fun time watching the first one and the second one. I just have a fun time rewatching them. I don't know what it is about it, but it's just a fun time to rewatch. Then I have Jaws as my second honorable mention. Really good movie. Really good thrilling movie. The shark is barely even in the movie, but you don't really care because it's like it could be at any moment, so it keeps you on the edge of your seat. The boat sequence doesn't even really happen until like an hour into the movie, but you don't really care because the first half of this movie is just really good setup for the shark and like getting you tense for what's going to happen in the final act of the movie. But my pick is Jurassic Park. I mean, this movie is just a classic with the dinosaurs. So many quotable lines in this movie. The score is amazing. And I could put Jurassic World as one of my honorable mentions, but I kind of wanted to talk about more movies in J. So my pick for the ultimate like Jurassic movie is Jurassic Park. For K, my first honorable mention is Kung Fu Panda. I think Kung Fu Panda is underrated DreamWorks movie. I think it might be my favorite DreamWorks movie. I don't know. But the first one or second one, either one for Kung Fu Panda are really good. My second honorable mention is The Karate Kid, just a classic coming of age story with one of my favorite things with Miyagi. That I like this movie, but like it also just brings it into Cobra Kai, which is just one of my favorite shows of all time. But my pick for my favorite movie for K is Knives Out. I think Knives Out is one of the best murder mystery movies. No, I think it is the best murder mystery movie of all time. I mean, all the characters are so likable. I rewatched this and Glass Onion so many times. I should have put that as one of my honorable mentions for G is Glass Onion. I think Glass Onion's amazing, but Knives Out is just so good. It's in my top 10 movies, so it's just amazing. For L, here's the thing. I have 2 honorable mentions, but it literally could be, my top 3 could just be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I didn't put Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. I think 2 Towers is a 9 out of 10, like a 9.5 out of 10. For right now, I put the Lego Movie. I think the Lego Movie isn't better than 2 Towers, but I still think it's a really good movie. It's one of the best anime movies with a unique like Lego. Like they actually look like real Legos, unlike the DVD Lego movies. But I think Two Towers is a 9.5 out of 10, which I think is like the Helm's Deep fight is just amazing. But I feel like the Ents in that movie are not really, they don't look that great. The CGI wasn't really there at that point, so that's why I feel like it's not like top. And then I have my second honorable mention is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. This is the first one. I think this movie, as soon as I first watched Fellowship of the Ring, before the, like, after I watched The Hobbits, I was like, oh, I was wrong about The Hobbits. This is just amazing. I can't believe I thought Hobbits were going to be better than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I still think Two Towers is better than the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I'm not hating on it. I just think it's my least favorite of the trilogy. Fellowship is just a good start of getting all these characters together to form a fellowship together, and it's just really good. But my pick for my favorite of Lord of the Rings is Lord of the Rings Return of the King. This is just one of my favorite movies of all time. It's my top 4 favorite movies. It is just insane how good this movie is. That final fight, the war on Gondor, where like Legolas is like taking on an elephant and takes it down. Samwise Gamgee is just one of the best goats of all time. I mean, I just remember the first time I watched this movie with Junior. We were just sitting on that couch right behind the camera. It was just special, man. This was a really good movie. Alright, we're going to move on to M. For my first honorable mention, I'm going to go Men in Black. I feel like this is one of the most underrated movies of all time. Men in Black is such a fun movie, and I feel like it does not get talked about that much. So, please, just rewatch Men in Black again. It's such a fun movie. My second honorable mention is Mission Impossible Fallout. I feel like there are more, like, I think Dead Reckoning and Rogue Nation are better than Men in Black. I just wanted to talk about Men in Black because I feel like it's one of the most underrated movies of all time. But Fallout, perfect action movie. I think it's kind of tied with my favorite Mission Impossible movie. My pick for my favorite movie for M is Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. But I feel like Ghost Protocol and Fallout are like on the same tier. Like, I love them both equally. Like, Ghost Protocol has the Dubai Tower sequence and has like a more fun tone, and I feel like Fallout has a more serious tone, but it has one of the best villains in the franchise with Henry Cavill as the villain, and like has some of the best action sequences with the helicopter, the Halo dive. I mean, they're both incredible action Mission Impossible movies, but if I had to pick one, I think I'm picking Ghost Protocol over Fallout. For N, my first honorable mention is Now You See Me. I just saw this movie like 3 months ago or whatever for preparation for this new Now You See Me coming out next month in November. I don't know when this video is releasing. But just a really solid heist movie with like a spin of magic with it. Like, I just thought that was a fun, clever idea with that twist with Mark Ruffalo. It's just I just didn't see it coming. It was great. My second honorable mention is No Time to Die. I think this one is a little mixed with people because they don't like how spoiler alerts for like literally every movie on this list. They don't like that James Bond dies at the end. I think it was a good send-off to Daniel Craig's James Bond. I really liked it, and I liked the villain. I liked the plot. I just thought this was just a really good James Bond movie. But my pick for N is Nacho Libre. I think this is the funniest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It's my favorite comedy of all time. It's just really special to me. I just really, really enjoy Nacho Libre. And I just quote this movie all the time because of how funny it is. Now we're going on to O. My first honorable mention is Onward. I think this is one of the underrated Pixar movies. It's really fun with like this brother dynamic with Ian and Barley trying to find their dad through this like crazy journey. I thoroughly enjoy this movie. My second honorable mention is Ocean's 11. Really good heist movie with like all these actors together. I haven't seen it in a while, so it could be my favorite for O. It's been like, I don't know, 5 years since I've seen this movie. But when I watched it, I thought it was really good. But for now, my pick for O is The Other Guys. This is just a hilarious movie about cops. I think Will Ferrell and... Crap, I don't remember his name. Mark Wahlberg. I can't say his last name. But just a really good comedy. I was laughing out loud as the first time I saw this movie. It's just such a funny movie and just such a fun watch. For P, my first honorable mention is Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I think this movie is just a fun time. It's criminal that we didn't get a sequel to this movie because this movie is just really fun. Ryan Reynolds does a good job as Pikachu. This is probably nothing anyone expected me to say on this channel that I like this movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. My second honorable mention is Puss in Boots Last Wish. This is just a surprising movie because I think the first Puss in Boots is just such an abysmal movie. I just really don't like it. And then this movie changes that with this like really unique art style to it with one of the best villains of Death. Is just really, really cool. And I think it's just a really good movie. But it's not being my pick for P, which is Pirates of the Caribbean. I feel like this, like I literally just rewatched this movie like 2 months ago, and it's just so good. Johnny Depp does an amazing job as Jack Sparrow in this movie, and it's just a fun movie. Like I feel like I could rewatch it again because of how fun it is. It made me want to rewatch the whole Pirates franchise again, but there are some. Well, I feel like all of them are good. It's just they're kind of long. And Dead Man's Chest is definitely not nearly as good as the first movie. I just feel like the first one's just so good. For Q, I haven't really seen that much Q movies. It's literally just the Quiet Place trilogy and Quantum of Solace, which is the second James Bond Daniel Craig movie. So I think that one's my least favorite James Bond Daniel Craig movie, so it's definitely not in my top. So basically, my top 3 for Q is basically a Quiet Place ranking. So you could go check out that I made a Quiet Place ranking when Day 1 came out. So go check out that video if you want to see my in-depth thoughts about it. But I think it goes Quiet Place Day 1, Quiet Place, and my pick for Q is Quiet Place Part 2. I feel like Part 2 just does an amazing job. It expands on the first one, makes it more... not just about this like house, but about like the neighborhood, everything else. Cillian Murphy's like my favorite character in this trilogy, so that's my pick for Q. For R, my first honorable mention is Ratatouille. I think Ratatouille is another underrated Pixar movie. I thoroughly enjoy this movie about cooking and just this rat. It's just such a fun movie. And then my next 2 are 10 out of 10s. My second honorable mention is Raiders of the Lost Ark, my favorite Indiana Jones movie. And I think it's in my top 5 favorite movies. It's just such a classic adventure with Indiana Jones just being quippy and stuff like that. Great adventure, really good. But it's not beating my second favorite movie of all time, which is Return of the Jedi. My shirt I'm wearing right now. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. It's my second favorite movie of all time. And it's just such a good movie. I feel like this just wraps up the original trilogy so well. I like the Ewoks. Jabba's palace at the beginning is so good. The end fight with Darth Vader and Luke is just so great. I got to see this movie in theaters when it re-released, and it just confirmed that this is my favorite Star Wars movie. It's just so good. Junior said it was his favorite, and then when we saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters when it got re-released in April, he said Revenge of the Sith is his favorite. So, that's cool. For S, I have... my first honorable mention is The Social Network. I just watched this movie, and it's freaking fantastic. I mean, this is just... I was not expecting to like a movie that was about the Mark Zuckerberg and how he created Facebook. I don't even use Facebook, but this movie's so good with Jesse Eisenberg as Mark Zuckerberg is just so good. And Andrew Garfield is also just a huge standout in this movie. And they're like, I was really enjoying, but that final bit with like the relationship with Andrew Garfield's character and Jesse Eisenberg's character, it just makes the movie great. I mean, this movie is just fantastic. My second pick is Star Wars A New Hope. This is another one that's just like, I think it's just such a good, I feel like the original trilogy of the Star Wars movies are all 10 out of 10s. They're all amazing. I really like the origin story with Luke and stuff. It's just such a good movie. But my pick for my favorite movie for S is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I think this movie is just so good. I really like, it was my favorite movie for 2023, and I can't wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. We need that as soon as possible.
So rewatching the video, I kind of am going to change my opinion. And I think A New Hope is better. It's a better movie than Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I just think New Hope is just so much better. So, yeah, that's my pick for S.
For T, my first honorable mention is Thor Ragnarok, one of the funniest MCU movies there are. And I feel like this is the best Thor movie, so giving a shout out because all the rest are not that great. My second honorable mention is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This is another just great action movie with the Terminator being the hero in this movie is a good twist for the audience. And I just feel like it's just a really solid action movie. But my pick is, for T, is Toy Story. It's my favorite animated movie of all time. It's my favorite Pixar movie of all time. And I just re-watched this movie in theaters when it came out again in theaters. Like, re-released in theaters. And it's just such a good movie. It's such a classic movie. It's one of my favorite animated movies. Because I watched this so many times as a kid, and it still holds up to this day. For you, my first honorable mention is Uncharted. I haven't seen that much You movies, so Uncharted, I think it's good. It's a fun adventure. I liked it way more when I first watched it, but I didn't play the games when I first watched it. Now that I've played the Uncharted video games, I feel like they got a couple stuff wrong with the movie, so it has dropped down, like, rating-wise, but I still think it's a fun adventure. My second honorable mention is Up. I think Up is just really good. Very emotional first half, and then it goes into this crazy adventure at the end. But my pick for my favorite movie for you is Unbreakable. This movie is just such a unique spin on, like, the superhero genre, which it's like, he doesn't want to be a superhero, but he doesn't, like, need a cape or something. It's just like, what if there was just a guy that had, like, indestructible powers and just no one knew? And I feel like this is M. Night Shyamalan's best movie. I haven't seen much of his movies. I've only seen Unbreakable and Signs and Trap, and I think that's about it. But by far, this is my favorite of them. And that twist at the end with Glass is just such a good twist. For V, it's basically just the Venom trilogy, so I'm just going to rank these real quick. My first one is the first Venom, don't really like it. Second one is Venom The Last Dance, kind of weird and just really weird. And my favorite is Venom Let There Be Carnage, because I like Carnage and it's the most recognizable villain out of the Venom trilogy, so Let There Be Carnage is going to be number one for that. I wish I'd seen more V movies, because the Venom trilogy shouldn't get that recognition. For W, my first honorable mention is WALL-E, one of the best Pixar movies. I rewatched this one as much as Toy Story, but I don't think it's as good as Toy Story. I still really enjoy this movie. My second honorable mention is Warrior. If you haven't heard of this movie, I haven't even heard of this movie until I actually watched it. And it's such a good boxing movie with these two brothers that, like, split away for a while and then come back to fight each other in a ring. It's just such a powerful message in this movie, such powerful characters, really good acting from like Tom Hardy and stuff like that. Just such a really good movie. But my pick for W is War for the Planet of the Apes. I mean, this is the other Planet of the Apes movie, and I think this one is just so good with like ending the Caesar character in this movie was just such a great, they just did it in such a great way. I don't know why it took me so long to get to this movie, because I watched Rise and Dawn before, like a while ago, before The Kingdom came out, and then I never watched War until this new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes was coming out, and I rewatched them all, and then I finally watched War, and War is just amazing. For X, it's basically X-Men movies, but there's a lot of them, so I'll tell you my top 3 X-Men movies. My first honorable mention is the first X-Men movie. I think the first X-Men movie is very overhated. I don't know why. I feel like it's just such a... I think it's just a... Like, you can see that they're trying to make a superhero movie, because this is, like, one of the first superhero movies they tried to do. And I think it... For the time, I think it's a pretty good superhero movie. My second honorable mention is X-Men First Class. I think this is a good origin movie, kind of like a spy movie in some ways too. I feel like it's very unique, and I really like the like dynamic between Professor X and Magneto in this movie. But my pick for X is X-Men Days of Future Past. I think this is the best X-Men movie, with the time travel aspect in this movie is just really good, and has Logan again, which is just really cool, and it's just such a good movie. Alright. We made it to Y, and I have not seen that much Y movies. I've only seen 2 Y movies, and it is Yes Day and Yogi Bear. Those are my 2. And they're both not good movies. So, I can't really pick a favorite because they're both not good. So, yeah. We're just going to move on to Z, which is the final letter on this list. My first honorable mention, I think I'm going to go with Zoolander. It's such a bizarre comedy with, like, face models and comedy stuff with Will Ferrell as the villain. It has some really funny moments with Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller just bantering off each other. It's just such a funny, like, thing to do, and I just thought it was really funny. But my pick for Z is Zootopia. I think Zootopia just edges Zoolander by a little bit, because I feel like I watched Zootopia a lot when I was younger, so I liked Zootopia more than that, and it's one of the better Disney movies. This is when Disney just kept making originals, and they were, like, really good. Not so much now, but, like, this is one of them. And that has been my favorite movies for each letter of the alphabet. If you want to do it in the comment section, what is your favorite movie from each letter of the alphabet? Let me know down below in the comment section, and I will check you guys on another Dab 2000 video and another ranking video. Goodbye, Dabbers.